So now we talk about Socrates. Socrates is the father of philosophy. Socrates is where it all begins, at least the good stuff, people will say. Socrates offered up the most influential and productive way of doing philosophy that we've ever encountered. I don't know how many of you know the story of Socrates. I mean, if you've read your textbook, you of course are familiar with it. But Socrates, and yes, that's a picture, that is a depiction, a picture of a painting of Socrates. Socrates never wrote anything down. Socrates didn't seek out being a teacher. Socrates just hung around Athens and talked to people a lot. There's some speculation that he maybe didn't even know how to read or write. He was not a very good husband. He was not a very good father, as we understand it. Basically, he really just enjoyed hanging out and talking to his friends about stuff. So Socrates talked to everybody, just hung out, talking to people, questioning things about virtue and about justice and about honor. Socrates was far more interested in questions of a practical nature than he was in what is the foundation of the universe. In the process of hanging out, talking to people, questioning what virtue is and what honor is, he got some friends. People were very impressed with him. One of his friends goes to the oracle at Delphi and asks the oracle, is there any man wiser than Socrates? And the oracle at Delphi said, no, there is no man wiser than Socrates. Socrates' friend, whose name was Chaerephon, runs back to Socrates and says, Socrates, guess what? I asked the oracle at Delphi if there is any man wiser than you, and she said no. Socrates listened, and then he says, hogwash. I'm not wise. I don't know anything. I don't have any idea what she's talking about. And he went on a quest to find the man wiser than himself. He did not believe it would be difficult. He started with the politicians. He went to the politicians and he asked the politicians about things that politicians should absolutely know about. Things about like justice and honor. These are the men who run the city-state of Athens, and they certainly need to know about justice. And he asks them about it. And he says, tell me, what is justice? Well, they offered up answers. They offered up easily responses to what justice is. And Socrates thought about the answers, and he asked more questions so that he could truly be certain to understand the response, to understand what the answer was. But as he questioned, the answer began to unravel. And it became clear that despite believing that he knew what justice was, the person Socrates was talking about did not. He did this and he said, okay, so I'm not getting very far with the politicians, so let's move on to the poets. Poets can tell me about love and beauty. After all, they are regularly writing about love and beauty. And so he asks them, and the poets offer up responses, answers to what they believe love and beauty are. And Socrates thinks about them, and he wonders about them, and he asks more questions, and over the process, the answer begins to unravel. Socrates does this again and again and again with various people and various professions within Athens. And as it turns out, what he discovered was these people don't know the things they think they know. And Socrates came to the conclusion, he believed that he was not wise. Okay, so first he believed he wasn't wise, but later, as the quest continued, he came to the conclusion that he is only wise because he knows that he doesn't know. He recognizes that he doesn't know these things, and knowing that he doesn't know them makes him wise. After all, everybody else thought they knew things they didn't know. So his conclusion was he was wise, but only because he recognized that he doesn't know things. And so he continued to have these conversations with people. And there were some young men in Athens that admired what he did. And so they started to emulate him. And so they would go off and they would have conversations of their own. Now, I suspect you've all known somebody who thinks they know things they don't know. Am I right? What happens when that person, it's pointed out to that person that they don't know the things they think they know? They get a little pissy, right? Well, this is what happened to the powers that be in Athens. Socrates and now his young, quote-unquote, pupils are going around making people realize they don't know the things that they thought they knew. And they got a little pissy. So they charged Socrates with crimes. They charged him with crimes of corrupting the youth and impiety towards the gods.